Hello, endurance leader friends. You're here again with Dr. Ann B.E., author of The Endurance Leader, which came out just a few weeks ago, and I'm so thrilled that so many of you have given positive feedback on the book and some of the principles within it. You know, during this time of year, December is when I'm recording this. It tends to be a time when a lot of people gather with their family and appreciate and enjoy some very special traditions. And since Thanksgiving in the United States, which was a few weeks ago, through the new year, we hear a lot about being grateful and expressing gratitude. And I talk about gratitude in the last segment of the Endurance Leader book and the importance of it for us. And in particular, I have a section specifically on giving to others. So I was really thinking a lot about what's the relationship between giving and being an endurance leader. It seems a stretch, right? Well, actually not so much. Gratitude builds confidence and emotional resilience and support and staying power. Giving to others builds gratitude. So there is a reason why we can go from giving to others to feeling grateful to having stronger endurance leader characteristics. But not all giving is the same. We have lots of ways to give financially. We also have ways to give from our feet and our hands, right? In a physical manifestation of giving. And for many of us, we spend so much time at work, and we really want to spend as much time as we can with family or doing things that are outside of the work domain. We sometimes might not give enough thought to the idea of actually giving with our hands and feet. And I thought it might be helpful to illustrate how physical giving, as opposed to financial giving, or maybe in addition to financial giving, more accurately, can be an even stronger endurance leader quality. I'm just going to go through a couple of ways that there's some differences between physical giving and financial giving. One is the level of personal connection. If you're going and volunteering someplace at a shelter, or you're going to hand out meals to families, you get connected with someone. Very likely, unless you're hiding in the back, which I hope you don't, come on out. Be with people. It will change you to see the emotional connection that you have with that person in that moment. At this time in our society, when we are so deeply divided, to appreciate another person's humanity, to be thanked by someone you don't know, we don't do this very much anymore, at least not in aggregate. Maybe you do, but it creates a bond. And you didn't ask about their politics or their fiscal beliefs. You just simply were helping. And that helping will mean something to both of you. Financially, if you're writing a check, that can also be very important, especially if it's a very big check and it hurts a little. That can be important too, but the personal connection is not likely to be there. Perceived effort, like how much effort do you have to give? Well, in physical giving, when you put out more effort, it increases your feelings of satisfaction and accomplishment, right? When you work hard at something, you tend to feel more satisfied. Not all hard work is good work, but generally speaking, you're going to feel better when you do a hard day's work. And the same thing in that kind of giving. I do some nonprofit volunteer work, and it's about moving families into homes that have come to the United States. And it is backbreaking work, and it is incredibly satisfying. With writing out a check, hitting the donate button on your screen, not a lot of effort being made, and it's easy to just kind of forget right after that. You're not left with any sort of meaningful gratitude experience. And that leads me to the third point, which is around kind of immediate gratification. When you serve someone else or an organization in a very clear way, you get that immediate feedback. You get a smile from someone. You get a thank you. And that can sometimes last for a long time. Even though the feedback itself is immediate, it can be very long lasting and cultivate more gratitude. Financial giving, again, it may have to do with the effort on the receiver to thank you, but often it's delayed. It comes through an email, it comes through a text message, or maybe through the mail, but it doesn't have that personal, immediate gratification to it. Now, those of you who know anything about the book know I don't spend a whole lot of time on immediate gratification, but in this case, I think it can be an important part, especially if you or someone you're with doesn't get a lot of opportunities to do this, because they may need that immediate gratification to want to come back and do it again. Lastly is long-term gratitude. When we give of ourselves physically, it leaves a lasting impression on us. We kind of redefine who we are as a giver, and it can really enhance our sense of purpose and long-term satisfaction. And going back to the book, the very first part of the book, I talk about anchoring your mission, like knowing what's really important to you. And if being known as someone who is generous, someone who is kind to strangers, who helps build their community, giving in this way is a very, very powerful reflection of that mission. Again, financial giving isn't bad. It's just that it may be a harder road to make clear between that pressing of that button or writing that check and your overall commitment to your own mission. So, I don't want to tell you how to live your life or how you want to spend your time, but I want to highlight that gratitude can be built through service, and that when we serve other people, it can really foster and facilitate a number of qualities that we want in the endurance leader. Things like staying power, things like emotional connectedness, things like resilience and mental toughness. It can help all of those things. So I encourage you, whether it's during this season or some other time, it doesn't matter, to think about ways you might be able to give beyond just sending money. There is so much need. I don't know where you live, but anywhere I go in the United States, there is a lot of need. There is no shortage of places that would welcome you with open arms to give of your time. And I also encourage people who are very busy to make it a multiplier, which is do it with your family. Now you combine spending family time with giving time, or with your team. I worked for an organization years ago. We had one day a month that we all took off and went and served in a local community organization. And it was incredibly powerful, not only for the people we were serving, but for us as a group. And it built a lot of team cohesion. So as you think about the strategies you want to engage with in 2025, perhaps some of them are strategies around being a stronger endurance leader. And I absolutely encourage you to think about adding to that a new giving approach, one that requires some of your time. I can guarantee you will feel better for it. Happy holidays, and have a great start to 2025.